Hey, I'm Bobby with Franklin 3. We're going to do some loading on, today on 308. And we're going to load on the Hornady Lock and Load Classic. And we're going to load on the Lock and Load AP. And we're going to see the difference on how to load precision rifle on both presses. We're going to do some time comparisons to see which one's faster. You know, the Lock and Load AP is one of the most versatile presses if you don't have a lot of room. If you're a rifle loader, pistol loader, this is a great choice, and we're going to see how you can actually load precision rifle with this today. We're going to be using the Lee reloading die. So the first thing we're going to set up is our resizing. This is a full length resizing die with a decapper. So on the Classic, we will use the shell plate, and then we're going to set this up. And as you can see, it just drops right in. So this is uses the lock and load bushings, which set in. And they just turn, so that way once you set it up the first time, you don't have to keep going back and modifying and setting it. So the first time, you're good to go. Now, since we're gonna move this die over to this press, I will have to reset it up because the throw is slightly longer on this than it is this, because the way the progressive is set up. So what we'll do is we're gonna bring our rim all the way up, and we're gonna screw this die down until it touches. All right, and then we're going to lower just a little bit, turn it about a half turn, so that way we have this real nice. I mean, it's a real. Okay, so that's set up. So now we're going to resize and knock the primers out of these 10. We're going to time it. I'm not going to be in a race, not in a hurry. I'm just going to go just normal time, take my time, make sure I do it right. So, ready to go. All right, so we got all 10 of them resized. We had to swap cameras because Avery's phone ran out of storage. But we got a minute and 27 seconds on resizing all 10 of them. So we're going to trim them real quick because they are long. We're going to trim them down according to our Hornady book. We're going to trim it down to 2.005, and we're going to use the Lyman Case Trim Express, which is a really handy trimmer. Works great. I've been real impressed with it. So we're going to trim these up real quick. We're not going to time that because the trimming process takes whatever time it takes, whether you're using a single stage or a progressive. So we're going to trim them real quick, and then we'll keep moving. Resized, we got them trimmed. Went ahead and deburred them and cleaned out the primer pocket. So now we're going to prime these 10 with a hand primer. This press does have a feature where you can prime it on, but I'm going to prime these by hand. So we're going to time that because there is a big difference between this step by hand and on the 5-station on that progressive lock and load AP. So we're going to set this up. So we're going to need our shell plate, and it just slides right on here. And then let me set this thing up, and it slides. Oh, I'm sorry. Told you wrong. This slides down in here, slides all the way out of the way, and then our shell plate goes in, like so. So you've got to make sure the spring, that you don't drop it and lose it, because it's hard to find. But once you get your shell plate in place with the, you have a small primer size and a large primer. We're dealing with a large primer, so we slide that up, and then that just hooks there, and then you're ready to prime. So now that we got that done, I'm going to drop in some primers. Alright, so that's got all 10 prime. So we got 2 minutes 27 seconds on the priming. So we'll write that down. Our next step is going to be powder. So alright, so we are we've already set up our Hornady powder dump. We're loading CFE 223 for 2,600 feet per second. So we're shooting for 45.7 grains. So we've already got our measure set up, so we're ready to dump it. We're going to change out from our resizing die to our seating die. Now here's the part that I like about the Hornady. Now we've got this die set up in the bushing already. All right, so what I like about this is the Hornady lock and load, the bushing as easy to change as this. Now the die stays in the bushing. We've already set that up once, so when I come back to 308 2 weeks or 2 months from now, this is already set up. So all I got to do is put this in the carrier with the bushing in it, and we're good to go. So we're going to put a new bushing in, and we're going to set up our seating die. All right, so we've taken our shell holder back from our priming tool. Lee tells us to turn this die until it touches the shell holder, until it touches the plate, and then turn it a quarter turn from there. Okay, that's a quarter turn. We're going to set that down. All right, now I've already turned our seating die all the way up. Any further, this will come out. And inside here you have what actually seats the bullet. And we're loading some Hornady ELD match. And so you can see the bullet just sits nice in there. It's not pushing on the top, it's pushing on the shoulder of that bullet when it goes to seat it. So we're going to just barely start this. Alright, so I've got this just barely started. My charge case is in here. We're going to determine our length, so I'm going to go ahead and set a bullet on, follow it up in. And yeah, so we got plenty of adjustment. That's what I wanted to see. All right, so there I can feel it touch the actual bullet. So from there I can kind of work it in like I want. So we can see our bullet starting to seat in. Now we know that's way too long. We're going to look at our book. We're going to get our length data. 2.80 is our overall that we're shooting for. So I'm going to go ahead and set our caliper up. Alright, so now we're 2.80, that's what we're shooting for. Right now we're a little long still. So we're gonna just keep screwing this down until we have it set like we want. Okay, so we got our die set up. 2.8 is what we're shooting for. That's what we got. So we're good on that. So that's set up. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to powder these 10 and time it. And then I'm going to separately load them and time it. And then we'll see what we got on a total. So let's go ahead and powder all 10 real quick. And they're all powdered. So now we're going to drop some bullets in it. Drop bullets in it. Oh, let's reset. We're going to start. All right, here we go. Alright, that's all 10. So, minute 47. Alright, so we've got 6 minutes and 45 seconds on actual loading time on these 10, which is resizing, powder, seating the bullet. Doesn't include our trim time or our clean time. Doesn't include that because that time is the same regardless of. So anyway, so it doesn't include any trim time or clean time, because that's going to be the same whether we're using the classic or the lock and load AP. So we're good. Now, just like I showed you on the seating die, we've got our, I'm sorry, on the trim die, our seating die is already set up, so if we pull it out, bushing stays in place. That can go in the box and it's ready to go for the next time, and all we have to do is just fine tune whatever depth depending on what bullet we're loading, whether we're loading a match grade boat tail or a ELD or an ELD match or an X or what. So anyway, but we're gonna be changing all this because we're gonna move over now and do all of these steps on these 10 on the AP. All right, so we've got our bullets trimmed to length, pockets cleaned, so they're ready to go. So now here's the thing on the Progressive, this 5 station, where we had to do each step on here. We have resized it here. We didn't put a primer in it, so now we can just remove our sizing die completely, and we're going to go ahead and drop in our seating die. Now we've already adjusted it in length, so we're good to go. But now here's the thing: you can actually go ahead and drop in your powder measure. And this is the same exact powder measure we used over here, except for it's got the case activated powder drop. So now in one fell swoop we can put a primer in it, we can charge it with powder, and we can seat the bullet. Whereas over here we had to hand prime it, we had to hand powder it, and we had to seat it. So those are all 3 different steps. So now we're going to time us on doing these 10 on the Progressive. So let's go with that. Nothing here. Now we're going to go forward and seat our primer. Oh yeah, felt nice. All right, now you can see the case activated powder drop is dumping powder into that one. We're going to put our primer in over here. So now we've got a bullet ready, and I can see in there that we put powder in it. Make sure we go forward. Get our primer in. Alright, so that's 2 minutes 37 seconds on those 10. We primed them, we powdered them, we seated the bullet to depth, all in one pull of the handle. So let's see, let's compare that. So give me a... Alright, so that's a total of 3:45 compared to 6:45 on the Progressive. So it's a little bit quicker. Obviously it would be, and we all assumed it would be, but the whole purpose is really to show you that you can still load accuracy with a Progressive like our lock and load AP. You just break down your steps and do the ones that you want at a certain time. Get your trimming done, your cleaning done, fix your pockets like you want it, and then move on. But once you move back to the powdering and seating step, you can double up. So we primed, powdered, and seated all in one motion here, which saved us 3 minutes on 10. All right, so take that out to 100. That'll save you 30 minutes on 100. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. You can save some time, but if you're like me and you shoot rifle, you shoot pistol, and you want one press, you can still shoot, you can load accuracy with a lock and load AP. Now, of course, everything that we've showed you and used, we sell here in our shop. We've got it on the shelf in our showroom, so stop by and visit us at Franklin 3 in Folkston, Georgia, or on the web at www.franklin3.com. Thanks.